Please make the session live and confirm. Yes. Okay, thank you. So we will start with the session. So we are live now. So we will start with the session, and we have our eminent dignitaries with us today. So it gives me immense pleasure to welcome all of you today to this special webinar on GST at the rate 10, organized by the Tax Research Department of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India in observation of the GST Day. Today is really a significant milestone in India's indirect taxation journey as we celebrate 10 years of goods and services taxes, and it is a landmark reform for the country. So to honor this achievement, we start by the session, and we will start by playing the national song. I request IT team Kolkata to kindly play the national song. Thank you so much. And now we will play the Institute anthem before we start with the inaugural session. IT Kolkata is requested to play the Institute anthem, please.
Asatu ma sadgamaya tamasu ma jyotirgamaya मृत्युर्मामृतं गमय
असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मामृतं गमय
असतो
असतो
मा
मा
सद्गमय तमसो
तमसो
मा
मा
ज्योतिर्गमय
ज्योतिर्गमय
मृत्युर्मामृतं गमय ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति।
Thank you. Now we will start with the session, and the first phase is the inaugural session. In the inaugural session, to address the welcome speech, we have our HOD, CMA Kushal Sengupta, Director, Tax Research Department. It is over to you, sir, to have the welcome address. Sir, you are on mute.
Good afternoon, all. Respected President of the Institute, CMA TCA Srinivasa Prasad, Honorable Vice President CMA Neeraj D. Joshi, Chairman of the Indirect Tax Committee CMA Dr. Ashish P. Thate, our esteemed Chief Guest CMA Pradeep Kumar Chand, Director Finance, Cement Corporation of India, our distinguished speakers CMA Rohit Kumar Singh, CMA Anil Sharma Sir, CMA B.M. Gupta Sir, esteemed members of the Institute, fellow professionals, and all the participants, a very good afternoon and a very warm welcome to each one of you. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to today's special webinar on GST at the rate 10, organized by the Tax Research Department of the Institute of Cost Accountants of enhancing transparency, promoting ease of doing business, and embracing the technology-driven compliance. This milestone is not merely an occasion to celebrate a decade of reform, but also an opportunity to reflect on the earmark journey of GST, appreciate the contributions of the professionals and policymakers, and explore the road ahead. Through today's webinar, we aim to exchange ideas, special practical experiences, and gain valuable insights into the evolution and future of the GST framework. At the outset, I express my sincere gratitude to our President CMATCA Srinivasa Prasad sir for his visionary leadership and to our Vice President sir CMA Neeraj D. Joshi for his constant encouragement and support in promoting professional excellence. I also acknowledge the invaluable guidance of CMA Dr. Ashish P. Thate sir, Chairman, Indirect Taxation Committee, whose commitment has been instrumental in organizing knowledge-driven initiatives for our members. We are deeply honored to have with us as our chief guest CMA Pradeep Kumar Chand, Director Finance and Chief Financial Officer, Cement Corporation of India, a member of our institute, as well as a member of the Institute of Internal Auditors, and an accomplished finance professional with over 3 decades of distinguished experience. Sir, your gracious presence adds immense value to today's program, and we sincerely thank you for accepting our invitation. We are equally privileged to have with us our esteemed speaker, CMA Rohit Kumar Singh, CMA Anil Sharma sir, CMA BM Gupta sir, whose rich experience and expertise in indirect taxation will undoubtedly make today's deliberations insightful and enriching. To all our members, professionals, and participants joining us from across the country, I extend heartfelt thanks, heartfelt welcome to them. Your enthusiastic participation reflects our collective commitment to continue to continuous learning and professional excellence. With these words, I once again welcome all our dignitaries and participants and wish you a highly informative and engaging session. Thank you, and I wish you all a very happy GST day. Now, I would like to request CMA Dr. Ashish P. Thate, Sir, Chairman Indirect Taxation Committee, ICMI, to deliver his speech. Thank you.
Namaskar. Good afternoon to all. Well, on this occasion of GST, which has turned 9 today and entering into the 10th year, is really, of course, a very great achievement and really a big milestone in the country's taxation system. And I'm very thankful. I'm very thankful to our GST department who has taken up this initiative, today's special webinar. I'm also thankful to Pradeep Kumar Chansar, Director of Finance, Cement Corporation of India Limited, for joining us as the chief guest today for the special address. Rohit Kumarji, our tax consultant costing of the costing community, for joining us for today's session to give us a lot of knowledge about the GST. All other speakers, Anil Sharma ji, Bhuvali Gupta ji. So thank you so much for all of you for joining today's session. Also thankful to our department who has taken a lot of efforts to organize the today's. Well, when I talk about and when I look back about the GST, it has marked the major shift in India's indirect tax system. It has replaced the old fragmented central and state taxes with an integrated framework. It has helped to create the common national market and support the vision of one nation, one tax. That was the dream of many governments earlier, to subsume all the taxes which are there in the central and state, but that was not possible earlier. But then from 1st July 2017, GST has evolved through continuous reforms, digital systems, and stronger center-state coordination. The number of GST taxpayers, meanwhile, that is also very critical data, that GST taxpayers has increased from 66.5 lakhs in 2017 to 1.65 crore in May 2026. So you can see almost a threefold increase in the taxpayer. So that means there are many taxpayers which were not under the GST era earlier, has now been part of the GST since those last 9 years. Additionally, the next generation GST reforms of 2025 further simplified the structure through lower rates. As we have seen, a lot of rates has undergone change in 2025 September. Then some of the exemptions and easier processes. These measures aim to benefit households, MSME, farmers, and exporters, various trade sectors, etc. Well, when this GST was launched in 1st July 2017, this has marked a very big milestone in the taxation era. And GST has subsumed 17 different taxes and 13 cesses into a common framework. This was looking quite impossible earlier, but then the government has made it possible. GST has made it possible. And, GST collections has also gone up quite big way from the past. So GST collections has become a high frequency signal of economic activity, because the more collection of GST goes up, that means there are a lot of economic activities which are getting converted into the taxes for the government. These taxes are, of course, utilized for the betterment of the nation as such. So the gross GST collection stood at around 7.4 lakh crore in 2017-18, has increased steadily over the years. And over the last 5 years, the collections has rose from about 13.76 lakhs crore in 21-22 to 22.27 lakh crore in 25-26. The momentum has continued into 26-27, with GST collections reaching around 4.37 lakhs. That's the 2 months collection during April and May 2026. So these are some of the important changes which GST has gone through. GST has changed our life, but GST's life has also changed. So now GST uses a lot of advanced technologies such as artificial intelligence, machine learning, and data analytics are being used for monitoring in more targeted manner. They help identify possible tax evasion. We have seen many of the tax evasion cases in the past. So they help identify possible tax evasion by analyzing data patterns and risk indicators. These tools have been applied across various processes such as registration, scrutiny, etc. This allows system to focus on high-risk taxpayers while easing the regulatory requirement on the compliant taxpayer. So, GST 2.0 has also changed the lives of many of us as a MSME, as a business, or even you and me as in person because of the reduction in the taxes. So I'm thankful to our department who has organized today's webinar. Congratulations to all the GST taxpayers. We have been paying taxes for last 9 years. This will be our 10th year of paying taxes also. And, the collections which has been increasing are definitely getting used for the betterment of this nation. Thank you to all fellow esteemed members. Pradeep Kumarji, thank you so much for joining today's session. We are eager to listen to your thoughts and eager to listen to the all other experts, also those who have joined here. Thank you so much and welcome to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you for your deliberation, sir. Now we are looking forward for the words of wisdom from Pradeep Kumar Chand, sir. But before sir starts off, I would start off with a small introduction of sir. It is a proud privilege for me to introduce him. So the esteemed chief guest for today's session is CMA Pradeep Kumar Chand, sir. He is a cost and management accountant. He has done his MBA Finance and he is a master's in commerce as well. He is the member of our institute and the Institute of Internal Auditors. Sir has over 30 years of rich and diverse experience in the finance domain across cement, petrochemical, power, and fertilizer sectors. He is currently serving as the Director of Finance and Chief Financial Officer at Cement Corporation of India Limited, New Delhi. In this role, he is instrumental in shaping the organization's financial strategy, strengthening the governance and compliance framework, driving operational excellence, and contributing significantly to long-term growth and sustainability. Throughout his distinguished professional journey, Sir has held several key leadership positions in renowned organizations, including Brahmaputra Crackers and Polymers Limited, a subsidiary of GAIL India, Avijit Power Limited, Bengal Chemicals and Pharmaceuticals Limited, Paradip Phosphates, and Odisha Power Generation Corporation Limited. Sir has an expertise which spans over financial management, taxation, strategic planning, internal audit, risk management, ERP implementation, and corporate governance. In addition to his corporate leadership, Sir is also a national level speaker on GST and he has delivered sessions for various professional institutions and government authorities. His ability to simplify complex subjects and relate them to practical business scenarios has earned him immense respect among finance professionals, academicians, and inspiring cost and management accountants. Sir, we are truly honored to have such an accomplished professional with us today. We are honored to have you. On behalf of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India, I extend a warm welcome to CMA Pradeep Kumar Chand, sir, and thank him for his gracious presence and for him to accept our invitation to be the chief guest for today's session. It is an honor to have you with us, sir, and we now request you to address the gathering and share your valuable thoughts. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Priyanka Madam, and I'm really grateful to the Taxations Department of Institute chairmen and other dignitaries and fellow members of my institutes. And it is really great privilege for me to address this occasion of GST 1.0. So 10 year GST has implemented. We have what? So what is the new thing? Besides this government regulations, industry practice, different thing, but new thing, it has given a new visibility to our cost accounting professions in the tax regime. So that is the new landmark success for a profession. Our members have demonstrated their excellency in the taxation, in that tax. Earlier also in excise, GA, VAT, their cost accountant rule was there definitely, but in GST they have demonstrated. So that is the new visibility for our cost account fraternity, and all for direct tax also. We are fighting, but there is a, so you see in professional levels, after working in industry, there is competition is there. Professional is there, competition will be there. But while in the same parallel footing, we are having the knowledge, industry expertise, we are deprived of the income tax regime. That is okay, different thing. But coming to this issue right now, I will address that after 10 years, what has happened, GST 1.0, and in future 2.0, what has happened and what is expected right now for the professional like CMA. To that end, I will aspect that now, during the 10 years, the achievement, that what is the main major achievement, that is you can categorize in 3-4. That is one achievement, that one nation, one tax, that has been achieved in the line of global practice a long back, because now this all business processes earlier what was in GST regime has changed. So globalizations, global business standard is coming, and company, all the industries are looking forward that, looking for the globalizations. So for globalization, this is the one of the major major steps which government has taken, GST. So now the one nation, one tax, it is comparable in OECD standards also. Then second, it is during the 10 years, there is a huge digital transformation, e-invoicing, e-payables, like that. So you can say India digital transformation GST is a world largest fully digital GST ecosystem that India is able to create. Then further there is huge expansion of tax base and greater business transparency. Because of this huge transparency, faceless assessment is there, and also new tribunal has been set up to give a new dimension litigations. So again, another thing is that there is a cost, the cost business impact, that your logistic cost has been drastically reduced, and every aspect of business, tax transparency there, and any investor, they're coming to India, they rely on the transparency of the business of tax structure. So these are the things. But what is another challenges is there. After 10 years also, there is a challenges. Litigation has intensified. Why? Suppose we have introduced the GST system, which is a very transparent system. Initially, there was a lot of issues, which is after court intervention, different judicial interventions, many things are settled down. Still, there is a lot of litigation is increasing. You could tend the litigation cases before a Department of Appeal, High Court, and Supreme Court also, it is lingering. Because although department has reduced that up to certain limits, I think 50 lakhs, 20 lakhs something, department cannot file a appeal. But think that challenges for the GST professional is that for next 10 years, you have to be very expert in the litigation, because that is the one area where GST finance CMA professionals can demonstrate their capabilities and visibility. And this litigation come because of the legal interpretations. Different judgment has come, Supreme Court has come. Even faceless assessment is there, but Supreme Court is struck down because of the some law, privacy law, and different thing. So because this department is extensively using data analytics, they are using the digitizations. So previously there was compliance was there, but not tax evasion method. Now this when department is utilizing so analytics and digitization AI tools to explore the lapses in the every aspect of GST. So you may be knowing every industry getting the demand notice, so-called notice without any face. Mechanical manner they are sending the notices. Why it has happened? Because of the AI, use of AI. So now litigation is intensifying. So how to tackle this litigation? The first thing is that this cost accountant is a much advantage in the business process. You are the best person as a cost accountant, you know the business processes, and you know the impact of tax in every transaction of the business doing. So now in digitization area, in the profession cost accountant, those are in practice, also in service, they must upgrade the AI technology tools, knowledge to predict. Now time has come to predict the litigation. Before litigation happens, your expertise for that, this is the precursor. This is the risk management aspect you take care. Because you are not just advisor to a company. You are a risk manager who can guide and direct the companies. It is a part of your strategic decisions. Now GST is not taxation at all. It is your strategic decisions and how will lead the business for future sustainability to take the competitive advantages. So now you cannot eradicate the litigation right now immediately, because different court have different jurisdictions, different interpretations. But thing is that all the finance professionals, those who are CMA professionals, those who are in taxation area, they must develop the knowledge to that level that digital transformation is there, and all the digital tools and impact. These are the things we have to take care. And I will not take much time, but when I will summarize the one thing, the perspective. GST last 10 years is one nation, one tax. Now in next 10 years, we are expecting the creating a one nation, one competitive business ecosystem. Because what GST purpose is that your business must be competitive. No company is best in the world. How you define your position today to be successful in future? And taxation is one of the component which show that your visibility, because you are mapping your transaction in such a way that it looks transparent to everybody, investor. So if this planning is done, then in next 10 years you can prevent your company or any business to suffer from the tax hazards. And you know, these litigation cases pending in high courts and appeal in minimum 5 to 6 years. So only thing is that you can prove your efficiency, that before something litigation can, you have to make a system, you will develop a system through use of analytics, AI, very tools are available, that nothing should come. At least there will be notices, there is business notices coming. So you have to take the precaution. That is the key role of the cost accountant, who can prevent such occurrence and protect the business and the reputation of the company, financial losses. That is the key area where we have to focus. So these are the things we are expecting that next 10 years will compete, will challenges the department, the legacy of the department of the running, slipping over the matter of 5 or 10 years. Suppose in my case, 30 crore demand is there for after 5 years about the success. So in the 5 years, see how much loss, interest we have lost. So this is the thing. So prevention is a major role. Is strategic decision you have taken. The risk management part is very important, because taxation is one aspect. You have to tax due diligence and tax risk management system should be developed from the grassroots level, and each business process to mapped, so that you can demonstrate your professionalism. That see, although there is a tax department is issued so notice, there is an issue. You can categorize the demand. First demand is that card mechanical manner they have issued. Second, the question of law. Third, then a clerical mistake. So you can take the, when you get a so-called notice, you can analyze what basis it has given. Absolutely fine. Those who are real GST practitioners, they will find absolutely no base there. They will show its no-cause notice. And the tax authorities, GST department, that are aware of the law. When different high court has given settled on the cases, Supreme Court has settled on cases which department don't go by the judicial ruling. It is the practical thing I'm telling. They never go the judicial ruling. Even if Supreme Court ruling they are, High Court ruling they are, even Shasta ruling is there, never go. They go by the what is written in the law. That's all. So now this role comes with the professional to make a strategic risk management system for tax. That is important. So our professional, I will not take much time because other professionals there. So I will request my students, those same professions and senior professionals, those are in industry and practice, to improve your capability, demonstrate the visible that see, in case of this tax area, we are offering unique solution to the business and professional also, by tackling the risk of mitigating the risk of the tax impact. If you are able to, as a leader of the business, you are guiding the business. If you are able to tackle the risk management in early, you can predict and show the business owner that see, your business is going to suffer. So that visuality is required. You can predict. You have to predict the litigation risk before department issues so-called notice, because you are not the cost accountant. You know the business process very well. And also, I have filed in Guwahati High Court similar case, because department don't disallow some credit. I have a real one case studies, because we have some integrated plant we are just gas compressor house, then GST department decided you are not eligible for the 30 crore credits. Then we told them it is a part of our integrated plan, although it's set up in different phases. Department did not agree. 30 crore liability was there. So we take the matter of the tribunal. Tribunal we lost. Again, we'll go to Guwahati High Court. Guwahati High Court is a significant decision. There's no Supreme Court decision. It is integral part of the business. So after 5-6, I saw that case. So they are more transparent. They don't do. But something happened, not intentionally, but something happened by mistake. By mistake, it has happened. So this system, you have to be a risk management system for the tax compliances, and you have to predict.
I think there is some network problem.
Sir, we will try to get in touch with him. There is some technical issue.
Yeah.
Sir, he would join in a minute. He has some network issue. We will just wait for a minute for him to join.
Yes, no issue.
Sir, now you're audible. You're visible.
Yeah.
Sir, you're on mute, sir. Kindly unmute yourself.
Audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. It is audible.
Yeah. So now
Yes,
coming
sir,
to the
you're
point, I will
audible.
conclude because I will coming to the conclusion point. My request is that this to show our visibility, demonstrate in the professional competitions, we must organize different seminars, different interaction with the professional colleague, different industrial experts, and develop such a unique knowledge. And of course, Mr. Gupta is associated. He is in practice in law times. So you develop a unique knowledge to not only to retain our professional image in the market, but to demonstrate that being a cost accountant and we are capable of doing the tremendous thing for business development as a business advisor. So all the professionals, those who are passing CMA, this is the one area in that tax you'll give your visibility and you can success, because a taxation area you will find very less professionals, still very less professionals. And in this area, although you are having professional qualification, but unless you have the depth knowledge of the business, you cannot succeed. That is the area where cost accountant has the advantage. So with this, I will conclude. I have best wishes to the team taxation institute, Mr. Gupta and Mr. Sharma and others participant, and all the students and the professionals with a great success in future. And I see that all the professionals must have come to occasion to demonstrate their capability in next 10 years. Who hides new dimension the cost accounting can offer as a true business leader, not only to the Indian economy and others also. Thank you. Thank you all very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Now, as we proceed towards the end of the inaugural session, I request my colleague, Madam Deboshmita Sengupta, for the ending of the inaugural session, ma'am.
Thank you, Priyanka Madam. Respected Chief Guest, distinguished dignitaries, esteemed members of the profession, dear participants, a very good afternoon to all. On behalf of the Tax Research Department of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India, it is my proud privilege to offer the vote of thanks at the conclusion of this inaugural session of our webinar on the occasion of Observance of GST Day, celebrating the theme GST at the Red 10, organized by the Tax Research Department under the guidance of Indirect Taxation Committee of our institute. At the outset, I express our heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed chief guest, CMA Pradeep Kumar Chad, Director Finance, Cement Corporation of India Limited, for gracing this occasion and delivering an insightful and inspiring address. Sir, your valuable thoughts on the journey of GST over the past decade have truly set the perfect tone for today's deliberation. We express our heartfelt gratitude to our President Sir and Vice President Sir for their continued guidance and encouragement. We extend our sincere gratitude to CMA Dr. Ashish P. Thate Sir, Chairman of Indirect Taxation Committee, for his continued guidance, unwavering support, and visionary leadership in organizing this webinar. We express our sincere gratitude to CMA Kushal Sengupta Sir, Director and HOD of Tax Research Department, for his guidance in organizing this important knowledge initiative. We also extend our sincere thanks to all our speakers who will be sharing their expertise in the technical sessions that follow. We look forward to gaining valuable insights from their rich experience. We extend our gratitude to all the participants, members, and stakeholders who have joined us today. With this, I thank each one of you for your gracious presence and valuable support. To proceed with the technical session, I will request Priyanka Madam to take over.
Thank you, Deboshmita. So, after the end of the inaugural session, we will proceed with the technical session for today's webinar. So, we have the first discussion session, and for that we have CMA Rohit Singh with us. The topic for today's session is 10 years of GST, the changes that the GST has seen over this period. I will start with a small introduction of Rohit Kumar sir. So Rohit Kumar Singh he's a qualified chartered accountant, he is a cost accountant, and he is a company secretary. He is also a gold medalist and a law graduate. He is also a DSA from the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. Rohit Kumar Singh is the Senior Vice President with Magma Group, who specializes in sustainability sector, dealing in advanced industrial chemicals, industrial tools, and technology solutions for recycling in industries. In the past, Rohit sir has worked as the Director of Finance Marketplace for Rapido Technologies Private Limited, heading finance and compliance functions for marketplace business at Rekia. He was also associated with PricewaterhouseCoopers and Gammon India Limited. Rohit sir is a regular presenter, a speaker at various national seminars in GST and indirect taxation and supply chain. He is also empaneled as a faculty for GST and indirect taxations with the Institute of Cost Accountants of India and the Chartered Institute. He has taken more than 75 national seminars on GST and regularly conducts online GST sessions for professionals and senior management. We are very glad to have you for today's session, sir. And over to you for the session. Sir, you are on mute.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. So before I start, I'd like to thank Prem sir to give his gold nuggets on the last 10 years in GST. And his experience has been invaluable for like 3 decades in indirect taxation and finance. It's like kind of seeing three different taxation landscape in India. And I also thank Ashish sir, Gupta sir, Anil sir, and all the fellow colleagues at TRD. So let me just share my screen and so I hope my screen is visible, Priyanka ma'am.
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay, okay. So when the session started, mostly the agenda is same for everyone. GST at 10. So we have all seen how like kind of a 9 years old boy or a child has changed the entire landscape of indirect taxation in India. And this was like almost 2 decades it took to us to adopt a GST, because we all know mostly in India it's a dual taxation structure before GST, and Constitution via Schedule 7 gave power to both center and state to tax on goods, services, and on manufacturing activity. So India shed all this, and it brought us a landmark reform on GST. So it was, I think, July 1, 2017, when India adopted GST, consolidating 17 central and state taxes and 30 cess. And the vision was one nation, one tax, and one market. And going in the subsequent slide, we'll all see whether this vision is actually achieved or we need to do more on this vision. So I'll be little critical also on the aspects of GST in last 9 years. Yes, I've seen from day one. I worked closely with GST and also on the digitization of the returns and the forms. And I've seen from the tech part also that how GST was deliberated, and now what is the form of GST which is being currently in use. So the good part, the multiple rate structure got reduced to two. So when GST was brought into effect, there were major five rate structures like 0, 5, 12, 18, 28, and then there were multiple other smaller rate structure for composition separate. Then for different schemes, there were different rates. Point one, then your 1%, 2%, 3%, 5%, 6% composition scheme, and all were there. But broadly, when I speak today, the major rate structure got reduced into two parts. That is your 5 and 18, and there was some luxury or sin goods where 40% is retained. But these are very handful commodities where 40% is retained now. The revenue grew tremendously when Ashish sir was mentioning the same thing, that from 90,000 crore a month to 2.2 lakh crore in the last month. And if you ask me, the tax buoyancy was not a standalone event. It was also because the taxpayer base grew exponentially from 67 lakhs to 1.6 crores in 2026. So not only the commodities, the services, everything was bought into GST 4. There is also that the taxpayer based multiplied multifold, and it was not that it was from kind of your push from the department also, but then GST became a necessity in the business segment, that unless until one has a GST number, the businesses won't be dealing with them. So this was a small take on number side, that okay, how the number panned out. Now if you divide the entire last 9 years journey, I'll divide it into four different phases. The first phase, 17, 18, obviously I remember like staying in office for 2 3 days flat for filing of returns. So the initially the scheme was GSTR 1 2 3, 1A and 2A, right? Everything was new to us, new to everyone almost. The rollout was with multiple rate structure. There were transitional hurdles, technological bottlenecks were there, and we all like kind of your burned our midnight oil to file a simple return, right? And even today, I remember my colleagues talking, and then we discussing lightly on what GST was there in the initial days, and how the life is now becoming very easy. So again, 18 to 20 was introduction, the mostly on the GST and portal getting stabilized, introduction of e-way bill, return simplification. So India shunned out that one, two, three, 1A, 2A structure, and they brought a simple structure of GSTR 1 and 3B. They also brought quarterly filing for GSTR 4. It converted monthly to quarterly, and then now it is an annual form. The next period was 2021 to 23, where most of the tech side was after stabilization. The tech driven compliance was forced into the system. Then ITC, your e-invoicing was introduced. Then matching of ITC with GSTR 2B, right? This was the phase when slowly the system got stabilized, and then the government pushed their agenda for not only digitization but also on the enforcement of compliance. And now, if you see the 24 to 26 era, that is the most exciting era I see. And this is where I feel as a professional, there's a lot more I can add value. So it was mostly on the adoption of AI structural overhaul. So department spending around 1500 crore on AI driven compliance. And now we can see that the entire compliance, entire enforcement is faceless. System issuing notice to the taxpayers on a very smaller mismatch, right? So AI driven compliance and IMS was brought into effect. I feel it's a game changer. IMS introduction into the GST fold. And again, we all have been waiting since last 9 years for the tribunal. So again, I'll say that extension of yesterday was not because not only because the appeals were not filed, because the system was also kind of facing a technical glitch, and that is where we all got 1 month extra. And also September 25 GST 2.0, everyone remembers. Almost it was an early Diwali for India, where the rate was reduced to a basic two-tier structure, right? If you ask me, I still feel Chancellor has spoken extensively on predicting litigation. This is where we all need to invest on, right? Litigation is a costly affair. If you ask me, litigation is a really costly affair, and we have been seeing negative judgment mostly on the ITC side at the department level, right? So all that we have seen mostly we'll discuss more on the concluding slides. Now, till 2025 end, I'll really thank our honorable High Courts and Supreme Court to hold the fort, because they were the custodian of the judicial activism. And I really believe that last 9 years, the High Courts have been very proactive on admitting the writs and giving relief, right? There are many landmark judgments. I'll again speak. I've taken only 5 landmark judgment of Supreme Court in the coming side. So upholding judicial activism mostly on the a hearing, not giving a hearing or the reason decision, then admitting belated appeals, where the taxpayers were really given relief that the appeals could not be filed on time. So high courts came into fold, and then they um, remitted the matter back to the department that okay, admit the belated appeal, subject to again 10%, 20% pre-deposit depending on the case to case, giving relief in portal glitches. There were many portal glitches where the returns could not be filed, appeal could not be filed, or even the refund could not be filed. Again, transitional issues, GSTR, Tran 1, Tran 2, known to everyone. There are many High Court judgments where they have asked the department to accept the belated filing of Tran forms. Again, there are High Court judgment where ITC on wrong head were taken, and then again that limitation period is over as per section 16(4). Then the High Court has said no issues. If the ITC relates to IGST and the taxpayer has taken CGST, AGST, it's a revenue neutrality. So again, the revenue neutrality concept is not new, brought into from your VAT and excise regimes. So again, it is there. are also granting time barred refund. I've seen many high courts being liberal on granting refunds because they say that it's a taxpayer right. Procedural lapses cannot hamper on taxpayer right. This is one key like para I'll always remember. So baton is now again handed to GSTATs for resolving the key dispute. And I feel this 9 year timeline, 18% per year into 9 years if you multiply, almost 10 years. Twice the tax will pay interest because the gestats are not there. So this is one thing I feel the government should come out with a kind of your scheme wherever there is a negative judgment, the taxpayer should not be penalized. There are certain issues which are left to the interpretation, and there is no clear cut interpretation that the elephant will sit which side, either the department side or the taxpayer side. So again, there I feel that the some kind of relief should be given to the taxpayers where the judgment are pronounced after 10 years 11 years, and then the interest burden is huge, right? So just in the last 5 years I have picked only five. In the last 10 years I have picked only five judgments. There are multiple judgments, but I feel these five judgments change the entire landscape of GST. And this is how like we as a taxpayer, we always like see to the courts and tribunals that how they are interpreting any provision. So again, the GameStop technology is a landmark judgment which not only changed the gaming industry but also like gave a kind of your view on how India thinks. So it says that stakes, not skill, drive GST treatment, right? And taxation will on not only on the difference part or the part on which the gaming industry retains as a fees, but 28% will be on the entire tax base, right? Then again, Bharti Airtel judgment, there the Supreme Court said the taxpayer cannot revise GST at 3B to claim ITC beyond the period prescribed by law. Section 16 subsection 4, beautiful judgment where the department, the court held, the Honorable Supreme Court held that no, we have to like honor the provisions of the law. Then again, Safari Retreat, this is one judgment which I really feel personally that retrospective amendment dented the image. So again, the Supreme Court said based on the ruling that ITC is eligible for material used in construction of commercial property for renting and leasing, not for own use, right? So 17.5, there I feel that there was a drafting error, and which again the Supreme Court gave a proper judgment, and this law was retrospectively amendment, negating the judgment, right? Again, VKC footwear, again one judgment I feel Supreme Court also accepted that yes, there should be refund of inverted duty on service also, but again they declined to comment on the formula, that whatever formula is there, it is a duty of the legislature to prescribe a formula, and the court cannot rectify a formula. That was a very beautiful judgment which I again read. And last and foremost, one judgment which is close to my heart, that most of the time we have seen that a bank is attached at a drop of a hat. So whenever a notice is issued, first thing is bank it is attached. So then the Supreme Court came down heavily on the department, and they said that department has to follow a due process of law. And this provision is a drastic provision, right? Attaching a bank means bringing the entire business to a standstill, right? So there are multiple judgments. Mohit Mineral judgment was there, and there are many judgments which you can talk on. But yes, my personal favorite is I picked this five judgment, and the reason being, last 9 years we have seen a huge judicial activism which has laid the path of the GST, right? So there is one way the department which is thinking and doing on their own based on their interpretation, thought process, and their internal circulars. But yes, we have judiciary at our side which will mend the ways and give a proper kind of your light to the tunnel. Next is the focus. Like last 9 years was fine. We all like huffed and puffed to see the GST. But what is the next 10 years that is ahead? So I feel for business it is adoption of AI and automation. We cannot like overlook the advent of AI and automation is a must, where we are processing lakhs of transactions in a month. We need to adopt automation, real time compliance. We cannot wait for 2 years to do a reconciliation and then feel okay, the audit is there and now I cannot do anything, there is a notice, right? intelligence reconciliation, predictive risk management. This is where I feel Chancellor also spoke at length and others also. Like we need to predict risk. We cannot sit idle and be a sitting duck where we'll see that now we'll see when the litigation will come, right? Again, the businesses need litigation support. This is where, as a professional, we feel that this is the time. I think this time will never come in our professional careers. In the last 9 years, I have seen huge opportunity. Next 10 years, again, there will be huge opportunity for a litigation space. And anyone who wants to devote time, devote 1 2 years, be prepared for the litigation, and next I think 2 decades will be ours. Again, as a professional, we need deep technical expertise. Filing of returns will not help anyone. Adoption of AI tools, learn AI tool, adopt it by be it cloud or any other tools. There are courses from the institute. Make use of it. Then strategic business partner, nobody wants to hear, sir, this ITC is eligible or not eligible. We need to partner the businesses in their strategy, in their analytics, and cost saving. Again, I'll just say that tax function is not a compliance obligation now. It is not about filing of return, but it drives resilience, efficiency, and better business decision. And at the end, we'll say that next 1 decade or even 2 decade, we'll see AI-enabled tax compliance and control both by the department and by the taxpayers. High quality data and governance. This is one area where we need to work closely on data cleansing or making a better high quality data. Real time ERP and GST integration. We cannot have downloading data from ERP, filing GST returns. Again, the tax team should get upskilled in AI and emerging technologies to make our life easier. Then stronger tax governance and cross-functional collaboration. Something marketing team has done or purchase team has done, and we'll just say, oh, sir, that is their mistake. Again, mostly if you see, everything comes at the table of the CFO or the finance director. Nothing goes past him. Any notice, any mismatch, everything will come to his table, and he is the one who will own everything. And at the end, to close the session, I'll say we are closely waiting for GSTAT to resolve the disputes. And again, we want to see a true environment for business to thrive, right? So, given the time, I just wanted to give a brief glimpse on what was the 9 years which we have seen, and what is the next decade that we all are expecting. So, I'll just thank every one of you for your valuable kind of your support. And yeah, ma'am, thank you. Yeah. So that is it from my end, sir. And I really like to thank everyone here to give me an opportunity to present my thoughts on GST at 10. So nine done, 10th year we are into. So that is it from my side. Yeah, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much for your deliberation, sir. Now we will move forward to the second part of this discussion session, and we will have CMA Anil Sharma sir for this session, and his topic would be navigating GST for 10 years, a special mention on GST scrutiny. But before we start, we will have a small introduction of Anil Sharma sir. CMA Anil Sharma is a practicing cost accountant since January 2003. He is a member of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India, and he is also a member of National Task Force on GST, constituted by the Government of India for Mission Karm Yogi. He has almost 30 years of experience in private and public sectors in areas of accounting, audit, costing, and he has served in companies like Gas Authority of India Limited, Gujarat Ambuja Cements, Darlaghat, Roper, Rama Petrochemicals, JCBL, etc. Sir has also been a visiting faculty at Mason, Income Tax Department, Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan College for Mass Communication and Management, Chandigarh. Sir is a prolific writer, a keynote speaker on GST, and has conducted several workshops on GSTs in PSUs and tax association. He is also, we are proud to have him actually as the co-opted member of the Indirect Taxation Committee of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India. Sir is also a panelist. He is on national television channels and All India Radio, uh, addressing important issues and contemporary issues on GST. So we thank you for your time, Anil Sharma sir, and over to you for the session. Thank you.
Thank you, Priyanka ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks a lot for the opportunity given on the occasion of 10th year of GST. 9 years GST has already accomplished, so we are entering 10th year of GST introduction in the country. We all know that GST was introduced with effect from 1st July 2017, and I am also happy and lucky to see that Pradeep Kumar sir is very much there in the session and giving his time, valuable time for this session, and it is really an honor for all of us. So, as my preceding speaker, Mr. Rohit, has already talked about what we have seen in last 10 years about GST, and the main thing which we have faced in last 9 years from GST, that is regarding frequent amendments made in GST law, which make the GST very complicated for the industry, also for the professionals. See, in this act of CGST, which was written after consulting so many agencies or so many countries our officials visited, and we studied for almost 17 years for GST, when at late Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji mentioned about GST way back in 2000 in the parliament that country will be having GST. And after studying for more than 17 years, we could not draw a perfect definition of supply. During 9 years of introduction of GST, we have seen many times the basic definition of supply has been amended. Apart from that, ITC, which is another important part of the for GST for the industry as such, the conditions for availing ITC got amended many times, as rightly pointed out by Rohit ji regarding Safari Treat, Mohit Minerals, and so many other judgments which have changed the business scenario in the country in the GST regime. Apart from basic conditions under Section 16 of GST Act, Section 38 has been redrafted, which was directly linked with the ITC availment. Again, a harsh step we have seen for the business. Apart from that, if we talk about returns also we have seen that section, the relevant section of 37, 38, or 39, and also the section 41, 42, 43 face a lot of changes, and GSTR 1, GSTR 3, and GSTR 2 could not be implemented from 1st July 2017, and it got amended so many times, and we have an in-between via media of GST 3B. And GST 3B itself has created a lot of litigation when one of the judgment in the by the High Court mentioned that 3B is not a return. So these things we have seen in past about GST in last 9 years, and now we have a lot of things with us, and lot of data is lying with us. So many amendments we have already seen. So we expect that in coming time or in the coming decade, we could be able to see a smooth sailing for the GST, because GST is putting a lot of pressure on industry as well as on professionals. If we go by the department side, we have seen that there are so many judgments which could have been otherwise resolved, but the way department deal the situations, it created unnecessary litigations. Like Mohit Minerals judgment, is the best example of the way the simple contract was made complicated under GST, and finally it got to Supreme Court. Similarly, in case of Safari Treat, we have seen a lot of litigation, and when Supreme Court gave its decision, then law was amended retrospectively after that. So such type of things definitely create problem for the business. And talking to scrutiny of the returns, which is the topic given to me, friends, we know that Section 61, which talk about returns or scrutiny of the returns. Friends, we know that return is the first document which a businessman or business entity submit to department. Also, based on this return, maybe return of GSTR 1, GSTR 2, or 2B or 3B, whatever it is. So department go through the scrutiny of these returns, and based on the information submitted by the business entity, they talk about some questions to the business entity, and business entity is supposed to give reply of these questions as put by the GST department. So as per the provisions of this section 61 has three subsections, and after reviewing the GST returns, we know that GST department, if not satisfied or if they got some mismatching in our returns, they asked us some question and we are supposed to reply very effectively within 30 days of time. And if there is if the department doesn't convince with our replies, they can initiate any of the action under section 65, 66, 67, or section 73, 74, or a newly inserted section, that is section 74A. So all these steps are there with the department, and department can ask questions from the department, from the assessee, and then litigation starts under section 73, 74, or a newly inserted section 74A. So friends, if we talk about section 61, it was notified by notification number 9 by 2017 with effect on 28th of June 2017, when in GST was introduced with effect on 1st July 2017. So apart from that, there is another amendment came into this section. Section 60 was got amended by notification number 17 by 2024 with effect from 1st of November 2024. So as mentioned earlier that there are frequent amendments in GST laws. Uh, I would like to mention here that apart from having excise, service tax, and VAT in our country, and we were having a huge data or the experience under these indirect taxes when GST was introduced with effect from 1st July 2017. We've seen lot of different things or different style of working of the department. No doubt, GST was brought in the country with some different concept of destination-based consumption tax. It has brought so many new concepts in indirect taxes, but the way the sections were drafted or the way matters were dealt by the department, it created a lot of confusion, also a lot of hardship for the business entities. So on the one side, when Modi ji says that we must be job provider rather job seeker. At the same time, if such type of laws or such the way the department has dealt with the issues under GST, it will be a discouragement for the department to the business entities to resolve the issues or get the things done in other way or the in smooth way. So friends, on ruler side also section notification number 10 by 2017 with effect on 28th of June 2017 was there for as a rule 99 which deal with section 61 regarding scrutiny of the returns. Apart from this, under this section, we have circular number 3 by 03 2017 dated 5th of July 2017. We talk about proper officers relating to provisions other than registration and composition. So this was the circular given by the department regarding proper officers under section 61, who will be the proper officer under section 61. Apart from that, department or the authorities has issued two instructions under section 61. One instruction is instruction number 2 of 2022 dated 22nd of March 2022. This was regarding standard operating procedure for scrutiny of the returns. And apart from that, another instruction number 2 by 2023 was issued on 26th of May 2023 that was regarding scrutiny of returns for the financial year 1920. So friends, these are the scrutiny of the return which is important, but I would also like to mention some other issues also which we have seen in last 9 years as so far. That one basic question and basic thing in GST, that is regarding GST. Because of so many shell companies or fake agencies, the registration process under GST has become so complicated that a normal taxpayer or the honest taxpayer not able to have a registration under GST as of now. So nowadays, the way GST registration case is being dealt by the department, it is very difficult for a common man or a simple honest businessman to get registration under GST. There are so many conditions like Aadhaar card and and PAN card is there, Aadhaar card is there, and electricity bill is there, rent agreement is there, and so on. So, friends, my point of talking about registration process under GST is last 9 years or today, whatever we are facing is that if our Aadhaar card is not proper, if our PAN card is not proper, if our electricity bill or rent agreement, which are registered under the competent authority, is not proper, and GST department is not in a position to issue a registration to us under GST, then it means somewhere some basic problem is there in our in our system. So there might be some problem in our fundamentals. So either our Aadhaar cards are not proper, or our electricity bill are not proper, or our PAN numbers are which are issued are not proper. If that is the case, then we have to think on that what system we should introduce under GST, which should be a foolproof system, and the GST registration should be one of the simplest procedure to get GST registered, to get business registered under GST. Otherwise, the problem will be more and more, because since GST has been introduced, the process of GST registration has got complicacy. So there are so many complications are there, and people are afraid of doing business or getting GST registration. Rather, I would say that GST registration should be a single click only, and afterwards, when you got the businessman registered under GST, they should be scrutinized thoroughly so that they should be aware of the procedures under the GST. Rather, we should encourage them, not to discourage them. Apart from that, friends, in input tax credit, which is a very, very important field of the business, which ITC, I always used to say that ITC is a currency for me, it's a working capital for me, because on my inputs I paid tax. But the way conditions are being imposed, the way Section 155 is used for allowing ITC, the way conditions under Section 16, under Section 38 have been brought into, they are just discouraging the business people, or they are not in a position to get ITC for utilized for the business purposes. So once, if that is the case, I remember I remember the report of Finance Commission, where it was a proposal when GST was discussed before 1st July 2017, that if the tax or the GST is paid by the recipient, means if all transactions are supposed to be covered under RCM, that would be more effective way of collecting GST and giving a relief to business houses. But that system or that model was not adopted, because ultimately under the taxes, suppliers' responsibility is there to pay GST or the taxes to the government. So in last 9 years, friends, we have seen so many issues under GST, which now time has come that we should address it thoroughly, and foolproof SOPs must be developed or must be introduced by the department or the government or the policymaker, so that at least the issues like registration or the issues like ITC should not be the problem for business houses, or unnecessary litigation should not be there, because the businessmen believe or businessmen want to do a business, not the litigation. I remember one case came to me in last year, where the company from Pune, operating in Chandigarh and Punjab, they were having total ITC of 1 crore, 2 crore rupees. They were having 2 crore rupees of ITC in a whole year. But by clerical mistake, department issued a notice to the party that you have claimed 4 crore rupees of ITC. I personally appeared for the hearing and convinced the officer that the total ITC claimed by a company is 2 crore only, but your notice says it is 4 crore. So there is a clerical mistake or calculation mistake, so it should be rectified. In spite of having personal hearing, order was passed for 4 crore rupees only. And when we sent this order for rectification under Section 161, again this was denied, and final order was issued for 4 crore rupees. And the company was forced to go for appeal by paying 40 lakh rupees as a pre-deposit. So if that type of cases are there in the market, definitely it will be a hardship for the business and for the industry. So my submission from this panel, as Pradeep Kumar sir is also from the industry, and they understand because he is also a GST man. So he understands that such type of hardship discourage the businessman. Where country like India, where we have MSMEs in picture, we have proprietorship firms in business, and they all are they are generating employment for the country, and they are having big contribution in the GDP of the country. So at least government should have such type of reasons which can cater the MSME sector or the proprietorship firms, because they are not the big companies. So AI tools or ERP are not their cup of tea, cup of tea of tea. So they will be shortage of funds and all. So if we promote them, we support them by having leniency in the system or leniency in the provisions of the law, definitely India will grow. So I expect in the next 10 years to come that the MSME sector or the proprietorship firms or at large, the provisions of GST should be user friendly, not a punishment for for that industry or the person who is dealing with GST provision on daily basis. With these words, I really thanks to TRD department and the institute for giving me this opportunity. And I would like to have a feedback from Pradeep Chand sir also, what he says on these issues which we have faced in last 9 years. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. And to end the session, we have the third discussion session for us. Today, we are having the session on handling GST compliance and moving towards dispute resolution. The session will be taken up by our very own CMA Bhogavalli Mallikarjun Gupta, sir. He is the co-opted member of the Indirect Taxation Committee of the Institute. And as we hand over the forum to him, before that I will have a small introduction of Mallikarjun sir. So CMA Bhogavalli Mallikarjun Gupta, he is an indirect tax specialist with over 25 years of diverse experience across multinational firms like Oracle, Infor and Dempo Group. He specializes in GST litigation, advisory and advocacy. He is a respected leader and he has authored 18 plus books on GST, and he writes regularly for premier publications and is a sought after speaker at national professional forums. For his key awards and recognitions, Sir has been conferred for the Outstanding Professional Achievement and Contribution in Nation Building Indian Achievers Award in 2021. He has been named among News Stories Top 100 Digital Influencers in 2020 and Creators in the Top 10 Indian Taxation Podcasts in 2021. Sir has also been recognized by the Cyberabad police for contributing 100 hours of traffic volunteering. Sir, major like memberships and the advisories. Sir is a part of FTCCI as a member and the GST Grievance Redressal Committee of Hyderabad Zone. Sir is a member of the Regional Advisory Committee, Ministry of Labour and Employment, Government of India. He is an elite faculty and resource person and trains top tier organization including CAG auditors, NASIN, Indian Navy, and NIMSME. We are proud to have you today, sir. And we have a very short window of 15 minutes for you. So over to you and for the session as well as the sum up of the webinar. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Priyanka ji. And I would like to thank the TRD department and the institute for giving me this opportunity on sharing my views on the topic. Now, if I want to make the topic very simple for all of you, it is from compliances to the courtroom, I call it. My litigation starts from the compliances. If my compliances are not clear, then we have to see the battles in the courtrooms only. Now, when it comes to the compliances, the first and foremost, as Chandji has said, Rohit Kumar has said, and Anil Sharma has said, return filing has to be accurate. And this accuracy is missed because we are addicted to Excel's VLOOKUP, download multiple sheets, VLOOKUP. If the formula goes wrong, our whole return filing will go for a toss. Now that we need to avoid it. And as Rohit has rightly pointed out in his deliberations that we need to adopt to technology. seamless integration has to be done with the portal and the ERP or the accounting system. This will eliminate all our litigations to a large extent, other than my place of supply, valuation, then again the input tax credit to some extent, and classification. But if you see the litigations as on date, in which I'll tell you two classic cases which we came across. In one case, I was successful at the first appellate authority level. Initial days of GST, the returns were new, portal was not supporting, there was knowledge issues with the stakeholders, and the poor bichara accountant has to file the returns by hook or crook to avoid late fee and interest. Now, in one particular instance, the taxpayer, it is a trade body, they have claimed regular ITC under RCM. Now, that's where my complaints is starting, 3B. Now, Anil Sharma has rightly said that in the 3B was not a return and then later on ratified as a return down the line. But ITC, regular ITC has been claimed as RCM ITC. Now, see the impact. On the net total ITC, which I'm availing as a taxpayer, it is same. But from the department lens, RCM has been claimed, which means there should be a proportionate tax outflow also in form of cash. Arithmetically, it is correct. But from a department's cash flow perspective, that is a red flag for them. And the taxpayer has received the notice. And again, initial days, portal, nobody knew it, when it was uploaded, when the date has lapsed, when the ex parte order has been issued. So tech adoption was also a challenge that time, and we had multiple sections, 2 sections for review of the notices. Now with that, the only recourse is file an appeal with the first appellate authority. Now, while filing with the first appellate authority, the biggest and the foremost and important thing what we need to keep in the courtrooms and 2 notches below that is we cannot add additional evidences or grounds which have been not taken up in the adjudication stage. Now, the officer has to be kind enough to accept it, why it has missed out. We gave a detailed representation with reference to the case laws, and the officer said, we are okay to drop it, provided you give us the proof that these are all regular ITCs and not related to produce all the copies of invoices. One mistake in column for reporting has landed in the first appellate authority. And when the order was being passed, there was a deliberation, a new point has been raised, stating that your ITC in 2A is lesser than what you have claimed in 3B. Now let me put it. ITC in 3B is more than 2A. So in that context, we are wanting to disallow X amount from the wrongly reported ITC. Now at this stage, the first appellate authority stage, I have to politely say that this is not the ground raised in the adjudication stage. So we cannot take up new points here, which is not as per the jurisdiction, which is beyond the SCN. The officer got convinced, and finally we got a favorable order. But as Anilji has rightly said, for his client, 40 lakhs has been carved out as a pre-deposit, in spite of no mistake by him. But here in this case, they have to fork out 10% pre-deposit, and this matter was related to 1718, and we had to attend literally 6 to 8 hearings. Reason is change of the appellate authorities every now and then. So whenever a new officer comes, appellate authority comes, adjudication officer comes, the orders for which for the notices for which orders have been not passed will be revisited. PH will be granted again. So we have to spend almost from 2023 to 2026 for this first appellate authority to get a favorable order. So as Rohit rightly says that litigation is expensive. So cost of compliances is affordable, but litigation becomes very expensive. So at the compliances stage, we have to be ultra careful while filing the returns. We need to sensitize the team. And for that, the best is accounting. If my accounting is perfect, if I have respective ledger accounts for input tax credit, imported goods, capital goods, inputs, services, RCM, similarly on my outward supplies, B2B, B2C, or my grouping for intra, inter, then when we file our GSTR 1 or 3B, the trial balance will act as a Bible or a cross-reference checker for our compliances. This will ensure that we don't get into the courtroom battles. Another case, before I conclude and sum up, that was again with the compliances. Initial days, outward supplies credit notes were supposed to be reduced from the outward supplies. But in two instances, we got cases. In one instance, the taxpayer never had outward supplies in that particular month, and portal was not allowing negative values. And since he wants to report everything on time intact, instead of putting it in outward supplies negative, which the portal was not allowing it, he has added to the ITC section. Now my net ITC is same, but when it comes to reference reconciliation between 3B and 2A, excess ITC. Now with the first appellate authorities, they got a negative order. Now we have filed an appeal with the GSTAT. See, everything starts from compliances, and compliances has to start or to be reviewed from the accounting perspective. So accounting of the transactions is perfect. TB can be taken as a baseline, and that has to be taken and considered while filing the returns, so that your monthly returns and annual returns will always match with your books of accounts, and the amount and time to be spent in the courtrooms or the litigations will be minimized. So this is what I have to share with you all. And to sum up, Chandji has rightly said that we CMS have a lot of opportunities being an indirect tax because we have the transactional knowledge. And indirect tax GST is nothing but implementation of the 5-pillar approach of GST at the transaction level. If this 5-pillar approach is followed, that is namely the supply, time of supply, place of supply, valuation, and ITC. Any transaction has to go through all these 5 pillars. If it is analyzed, accounted, reported correctly, litigation is avoided. If not, we can have some bread and butter from that litigation. And rightly, as other speakers have rightly said, Rohit ji and Anil Sharma ji, it has progressed and still yet to progress. And adoption of technology is it's not an option, it is the need of the hour. Even while filing returns, we need to automate it, use APIs to integrate the data with the GST servers or the e-way bill server or the e-invoice server, so that reconciliations will become very simple. I'll give you one simple example here. In one of the states, we received a notice where the department was asking for reconciliation of inward e-way bill. Now, we never dreamt of it. Now, how do I get the data? That becomes the biggest challenge. So adoption of technology is need of the hour, sanitization of the data every now and then, and keeping eyes, ears, nose open for the changes and for the business opportunities will definitely help our CMS to grow in a very long run. Priyanka ji, hope I've closed it exactly at 4:30 for you.
Sir, thank you so much, but it could have been extended also. We were loving to hear to you.
Yes, ma'am, but unfortunately, I have to rush into another session now.
Okay. Sir, as we conclude the session, for Pradeep Kumar Chand, sir, we have a question from Anil Sharma, sir. So if you could address the question, sir. So, Anil Sharma, sir, the question.
Not questions, but his views on
Views.
the today's discussions, what points we have raised. Sir, and please
you are on
unmute your
mute.
mic.
Yes, tell me.
No,
Sir,
sir.
actually, Anil Sharma sir was asking about your views on GST and move forward and today's session, sir.
Okay, my concluding view that is Mr. Gupta and all deliberations. So you have to make a distinguish between these other professionals and demonstrate that how you can contribute to a business, because nobody recognizes your profession unless you give contribution to contribute to the business success. So success of business, you have to act as an astrologer and predict the risk. So far as tax is concerned, litigation is very costly. So you can predict the risk as a business. You to advise before something happen. You can advise the business owner. See, as a business risk expert or tax, not a tax expert, be a risk management expert. Your business is going to suffer this much of losses on account of this. So you have to make a due diligence, tax compliances, rather than fighting at the court. This is the expertise required right now, because now digitization has come, everything is settled down. Court rulings, Supreme Court, High Court ruling is coming, tribunal has set up. Now, only thing is that expertise lies in the, as Mr. Sharma is in practice in cost accountant, my expertise lying in the 10, 20 years for cost accountant in the area of the litigation. That is the most growing area, and I wish that our members will definitely contribute and make a distinction on this. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much.
So we have the inaugural session, we have our discussion sessions, which are also concluded. So we will move forward with the formal vote of thanks, sir. So as we conclude today's highly insightful webinar celebrating the GST Day under the theme GST at the rate 10, it is my distinct privilege to propose the formal vote of thanks on behalf of the Tax Research Department of Institute of Cost Accountants of India. I extend and from the department our deepest gratitude to our esteemed chief guest, CMA Pradeep Kumar Chand sir. He is Director of Finance Cement Corporation of India Limited, for gracing this occasion and sharing his invaluable insights during the inaugural address. A sincere thank you to the leadership team at the Institute of Cost Accountants of India, CMA TCS Srinivasa Prasad sir, President ICMAI, CMA Neeraj Joshi sir, Vice President ICMAI, and a special thank you to CMA Dr. Ashish P. Thate, Chairman Indirect Taxation Committee, for his warm welcome and leadership, whose guidance has been supremely important for the conduct of today's session. We also thank our expert speakers. A big thank you to CMA Rohit Singh sir, tax consultant, for a brilliant breakdown of the structural evaluation for the session, which encompasses the 10 years and the changes that has been brought in GST. Our appreciation goes to CMA Anil Sharma sir for his practical guidance and discussion session on navigating GST scrutiny. We are immensely grateful to CMA Bhogavalli Mallikarjun Gupta sir for his session on handling GST compliance and move forwards to dispute resolution, and for meticulously summing up the entire program and ending it at 4:30. A special mention to our HOD, CMA Kushal Sengupta sir, Director Tax Research Department, and all my colleagues at the department for their tireless back-end coordination and efforts that has brought forward this seamless event. And finally, a big thank you to all the CMA members, the professional students, and other people who had attended this online session. Your active presence is what that makes these initiatives by the Institute a true success. We thank all of the people once again, and we wish you a wonderful evening ahead. Thank you, and we would end this session now. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you all. Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.